Okay, how's everybody doing today? How's everybody's trading going? We've had quite a rocky few days. I know Bitcoin and Ethereum are tanking, and a lot of this is kind of playing into the theories that we've been talking about with our members the last few days. We've been talking about how we should expect volatility. We talked about with our members how volatility was increasing, and we talked about how the volatility of volatility is increasing. And that's going to kind of wreak some havoc on the markets. And so we've kind of had this very interesting situation where markets started off the week negative gamma, went to positive gamma, and they've now flipped back to negative gamma. So for those of you who don't know, negative gamma refers to that the market is net short options. Positive gamma is when the market is net long options. Why does this matter? Because when the market's in negative gamma mode, volatility increases. And we also have VIX expiration today at the market open. So that's going to kind of create some interesting situations. The major VIX expiries are on Wednesdays. So that could create some volatility, but we've also kind of punctured through certain levels. And if we are able to, penetrate and break through other levels, that's going to open up a whole lot of volatility. So the markets are very vulnerable right now. We've been telling our members this for days now. We said, get defensive, get light, buy protection, buy insurance, get long VIX. And that's exactly how things are playing out right now. And so we've definitely had kind of this seesaw in volatility Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday being slightly down, Tuesday then being up, Wednesday then being already starting down. So we anticipate that volatility is probably going to get a little bit more intense for the next few days, probably through the rest of this week. And that we also expect volatility and trading as a whole, the markets to be tough for at least another month. So to like mid-June, possibly mid-July. We expect markets to be challenging, confusing, difficult, a lot of seesaw stuff going on. And we expect volatility to also have kind of this, the volatility of volatility to be increasing for at least the next month, at least till mid-June, possibly mid-July. So buckle up. It's going to be an interesting ride. That doesn't mean that's the worst thing in the world. It's the kind of market where if you can come out of this break even or positive, then you've won. I know a lot of really good traders who make like, $10 million a year plus, and they are struggling. Some of them are freaking out. They're getting crushed. And I see a lot of people that are struggling to get a grip on the markets, like to understand, hey, what's going on with the markets? What's the finger on the pulse? And it's super important that, you're very cautious of how your mind may freak out or self-reference or think you're a bad trader or doubt, that you remain calm, you remain collected, you remain patient, and that you're not so much focused on like, hey, how is it that I can, make money right now and get back my losses right now? It's more of like, how can I manage this kind of difficult, challenging, chaotic situation and come out with, a decent profit or at least break even? That would be a win. That would be a win during this time period. And also at the same time, how can you stay relaxed while things are so challenging? How can you manage that? If you can do that and you can kind of set things up so that it's more of like you make money when you kind of come out of this to where you've set things up so that, hey, weeks or maybe next month or something like that, you come out with a gangster profit, that you're not so worried about making, killer returns this month, that you're more learning to adapt and manage things to the situation. You might have some really good single day gains where you're going to make 2, 3, 4, 5%. We've had a couple of those. Yesterday we had a great day. And you might have some days where you're down a few percent. And the key is in this point to lose as little as possible, to kind of cull the herd in your weak performing trades, and to really lighten up and try and reduce margin, try and reduce leverage, try and reduce risk as much as possible, and be okay with being confused. That's this time period right now. And I see a lot of traders struggling to just even get some sort of clarity on the markets. Not just students, but like professional traders. I'm communicating with several traders all the time via email. We're communicating back and forth. What are you watching when you're looking at this and things like that. And I know a lot of traders I talk to, they are struggling to find anything. They're really struggling. They feel like things are just super chaotic, super difficult. This is not the end of the world. This is a period. It will pass. It's important you understand that. But how well you manage this stormy weather, this kind of weather pattern that we're going in the markets matters. It matters because when the weather does clear up, you're going to see who's kind of swimming naked, so to say. And you're going to see who is well positioned for the next kind of situation. So it's super important that you remain as calm and relaxed as possible, and that you're super smart with your leverage. You're super smart with your position sizing. Maybe reduce risk, maybe reduce position sizing. This is not really the time to be loading up. This is not the time to be loading up. I can tell you that. This is a time to be smart, defensive, reduce risk, reduce leverage across the board. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. So Babu says, good evening from India. Good morning from West Coast, U.S. Hello. Colin says, hello, amigo, and hello back to you. Made 2% on my small account. I canceled all my buy limit orders. Good. Yeah, so, stack up your wins wherever you can. Reduce leverage, reduce risk. That's a key play. You're going to have some good days. You're going to have some bad days. That's going to be a part of it. But it's super important that you kind of think a little bit more medium long term, that you don't think that this period is going to be forever. It's going to be like, if you can't trade this period, then you suck. You can't think like that. This is going to be a challenging period for a lot of people. It's even challenging for me. I've definitely had some challenges trying to, manage the kind of volatility and the chaos going on. But I feel like we have been sticking to our code. We have been sticking to our plan. We've been telling our members for a long time, reduce leverage, reduce risk, buy protection, buy insurance. Volatility is going to increase. And that has been manifesting this week. It's been totally manifesting. So Jeremy says, seems smart play is to go with credit spreads and make money from theta decay right now. Possibly, but then at the same time, if volatility is increasing, you don't really want that, do you? Like, if volatility is increasing, then it could just blow through. And if it's like two ways, if volatility is increasing on both sides, it seems like I wouldn't look at theta decay because it's not going to be a steady one-way decline. It's going to be something that's moving in both directions. So I'm not entirely sold on the idea of playing credit spreads. Yeah, I'm not entirely sold on that. Generally, credit spreads, you want high volatility to low volatility, right? You don't want volatility to increase. You want to be selling if you're selling credit spreads, you are selling volatility. And you want volatility to go down. So volatility increasing is not necessarily time to be selling credit spreads or playing credit spreads. It seems to be time to be long volatility and long potentially both directions. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that in the members area. Okay, so we're going to start off, looking at SPYs, Qs, IWMs, and we're going to be looking at VIX. So we're going to kind of talk about that. Super important. Then we're going to be going into movers. There's not a whole lot of movers in today because the markets are down as a whole. We're going to be talking about some of the losers, though, and seeing if there are some short trade ideas on that. And then we're going to be looking at Ethereum, which has broken down. What did we tell our members beginning of this week? What did we say about Ethereum? Ethereum looks like it's going to pull back. And that's exactly what has happened. It's also dragged Bitcoin with it. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at even some stalwarts. But the key, we're going to be more focused on short opportunities today than long opportunities. So, yeah, let's get into it. SPYs, first on deck. Crashes through a major 410 support. 410 is major support. It's a major option strike. It has just blown right through it. That means, and as you can see right now, everything is red except for VIX. Who's long VIX? Who got long VIX this week, this Monday? Yes, that's right. We did. We got long VIX. We sensed this volatility was coming. Boom. That's how it's worked out. So we suspect now with SPYs, let's kind of look at, let's start with weekly. So key right now is you got 403, which is the weekly low from last week, and 400. 400 strike, major strike. It's a major, 4,000 is a major strike in SPX. In SPX, the levels you got to watch, which most retail traders don't trade SPX, but it's important you watch it because that's where the large institutions, when they want to trade S&P 500, they'll trade the SPX. Retail trades SPY. You got to watch that though. It's super important. So key level for, especially for day traders, if you're looking to short SPX, is 4,000. You start to get a 5-minute close below 4,000 or 4,100, you're going to see a big push lower. 4,100 is a major strike. There's a lot of options loaded up on the level. If it loses that, then it's breaking support. And then below that, you got the weekly low at 40.50 and then 4,000. If we lose 4,100, 40.50 becomes a lot more probable and 4,000 becomes a lot more probable. The increase in probability from those getting tagged this week increased tremendously. And so if we start to, get towards those, if we break 4,000, you could see a huge unwind in the market. Huge. Because when I look at option positioning, I see a boatload of contracts, calls and puts at 4,000. But there's not a whole lot below that. That's problematic. That means that the market does not have protection below 4,000. If we get below that, that could start to trigger, kind of like a cascading type event. So the market has a lot of risk in it right now, and it doesn't have as much defense as it needs. So this is, keep an eye on SPX, and it applies to SPY. You could just translate it 410, 405, 4,000, or 400. And for me, really, like 395. We start losing 395, and you can expect all hell to break loose. You can expect a massive unwind in the market. And so, and when traders have a portfolio positions, it is often the case that when some of your trades start losing, how do you offset those losses? So to my students, to people watching, how do you offset losses in a portfolio when some of your trades are going heavily underwater? Who knows the answer to this question? Somebody does. I'm trying to see what kind of delay we have. I'm going to wave here and then we'll count that out. Okay, so not that bad. Okay, that's actually only a few second delay. Okay, so Jeremy's saying options. Okay. Covered calls. No, you wouldn't want to do cover calls. You wouldn't want to do cover calls in a massively bearish environment. You do, but okay, so let's see if anybody else knows the answers. Hedge with options. Yeah, you could buy put protection. What do most portfolios do? They sell their big winners to offset their losses. They sell their big winners. They monetize their big winners to offset their losses. I think that's what's happening in Ethereum right now. Ethereum was the biggest kind of outperformer in crypto. Bitcoin starts to break. Ethereum starts to pull back. People start cutting longs in Ethereum because that's where a lot of their profits are. Helps to offset some of their losses. They monetize their winning positions. And that's what's going to happen if SPY starts to happen. They're going to start to monetize some of their big positions, some of their big winners. But there's a lot of leverage in the markets right now, and that's problematic. Anytime you see major unwinds, there's always high leverage in the markets. Yeah, super important. Okay, so keep an eye on SPYs. Same thing today. We are right now in the 5-minute. We are below 410. So 410 pullbacks to, if we don't get a rip right off the open when the VIX expires, the Wednesday VIX expires, then pullbacks into resistance become selling opportunities. Pullbacks into weekly VWAP, pullbacks into 410.55, that becomes a potential selling opportunity. So keep an eye on that on SPYs. Qs, weaker than SPYs. Tech is just weak right now as a whole. For me, Q's, looking at some of my notes. Yeah, Q's in trouble. Q's is in trouble. I feel like Q's is in a much more vulnerable position. I would not want to be long tech right now. We've been telling our members for weeks now. I don't know how long it's been, but we've been telling our members for a week. Careful long tech, cautious long tech, reduce long tech. Do not add long tech exposure. And so we're seeing that, Q's, assuming it closes bearish, that's 5 weeks in the negative. That's going to put a lot of pressure on a lot of the top winners in tech. So Amazon, Apple, a lot of the top winners are going to be in trouble. They're going to start to unwind through major support levels. And then tech players that are super weak are going to look even weaker. This is kind of what we've been talking about, like Peloton, ARK, those kind of funds, Zoom. All these ones are going to start to look really, really weak right now. So super important. Super, super important. So for me, Qs, we are right at the weekly lows. We are right at last week's lows. Let's look at it on the 4-hour. That's not good. SPYs is not at the weekly lows. It's still got a little bit more to go. It's got about, 5 more points. Qs is right there. And so Qs is the weaker of the two. If Q starts to have an hourly close below, say, 314.94, expect a much bigger unwind. Expect to move to 310. Yeah, I would be expecting a move to 310. So super important. That's how I look at that. You lose 310, you got to start looking at 305 and 300. But Qs is weak. I would want to be short tech. I definitely would want to be short tech. Another way to be short tech without having to pay up for the expensive price of Qs is you could do the SQQQ, which is the pro short Qs. That has been gaining traction the last few weeks. It's gone the last few weeks, 11 up to 13. So if you feel like Qs is going to break through to the downside, you could get long SQQQ, which is the short Qs, basically. So that's a cheaper way to play short Qs for those of you who don't want to pony up for the 300 plus value of Qs. But bearish on Qs, watch for pullbacks, look to sell. IWM also showing weakness. If we get a bearish close, that'll be the 4th weekly close. We decided this week to not buy or sell iron butterflies because we felt like there was material weakness in IWMs in the markets as a whole, and we're glad we didn't because that would have been a losing trade. So IWMs right now is sitting at this kind of support right here, 215. And for me, 210 is your major strike on IWMs. Now below that, you do have a couple support there, 207, 208. But looking at IWMs, yeah, I don't think IWMs is prepared. I don't think positioning is prepared for a below 207, 206 print. You get below 205, you're going to have a quick move to 200. There's not enough protection in IWMs right now for a downside move. So I think you're going to start to see protection start to increase. I think puts are going to start to be bought today. I think puts are going to get more and more expensive if we continue to see more bearish pressure. So getting long puts earlier versus later, far better play. But expect small caps to be under pressure today. You might have a few stalwarts, but expect the majority of small caps to be down on the day. Therefore, you want to look at potentially shorting small caps if you have that potential. Optimistic trader, has he covered Bitcoin? Not yet. We got VIX next, and then we're going to look at Ethereum. So yes, good question. VIX, looking very, very good. I don't have the data for the CBOE. This is 15 minutes delayed, so it's probably a little bit higher than this. But we longed VIX. What was it? Did we long it on Friday last week? I feel like we longed it on Friday last week. We bought the 21-23 May 28th expiry, or no, May 26th expiry, and then we bought the June 16th. So we bought 1 week protection on volatility, long volatility, and then we bought 1 month long volatility. Both are 21-23 strikes. So if it closes right where it is right now, then we're going to hit full profit on these. Like we will hit max profit on these. If VIX starts to break through 28, then I think you're going to start to see a massive sell-off in S&P 500. That will trip a lot of stops. There's a lot of people who loaded up short volatility at the end of last week. You can see it because it rallied and then it pulled back. That means some people loaded up on short volatility. They sold VIX. And a lot of those people are going to be feeling that pain if we break above this, 28, 29 area. You could easily see a move to 31, 35, 40. That would put massive pressure on the S&P. But as we said, be long volatility and be prepared for the volatility of volatility to increase. I got someone speaking Russian. My apologies. I do not speak any Russian, or I'm not sure what that is. That may be Russian, maybe not. Anybody translate that? Constantine, can you translate that? Anybody speak Russian? I don't. Spanish, French, English, all good. Russian, yeah, it's a tough one. So, okay. VIX, that covers that. VIX is looking very strong to start the day. That's going to put a lot of pressure on S&P 500. Ethereum, he says nothing clear to him but interesting. Nothing clear to him but interesting. Okay, that's good. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if nothing's clear. It's going to take time to learn this language. So yeah, but interesting to listen to you. Okay, I appreciate that. Tell him I appreciate that. And tell him as he gets to learn more and more of this, he will start to understand more and more. Okay, Ethereum, major sell-off. What do we tell our members? The beginning of this week, expect to sell off. Ethereum, kind of a joke. Fair enough. We said expect weakness in Ethereum, and we are seeing that right now. Ethereum has hit a major support. If I was a long-term value buyer in Ethereum, 1900, 2K to me, that to me is a good value point in Ethereum. Keep in mind, you have to expect a little bit of volatility, and that's the opening bell. People might want to monetize some of their losing positions by closing some of their long winning positions. Ethereum's one of them. So there's probably a lot of people that are deep in the money in Ethereum, and I'm willing to bet some are going to start unwinding that. That might put further downside pressure. But I like this kind of 1900 2K for like a medium long-term play in Ethereum. If you were to ask me, do I think Ethereum's going to be up above 2000 by the end of the year? Answer is hell yes. In my opinion, hell yes. So areas that I would like to get long Ethereum, 2000, 1500, and about 980 to 1000. So relatively round numbers. I think those are all good levels to get long Ethereum. Let's see what's looking at the intraday stuff. It's a pretty interesting, that's a strong bounce on the 5-minute, but we're not there. We're not out of the woods yet. Yeah, somebody came in and bought the 2000 dip, tried to penetrate, false break back up. There's some strong buyers at 2000. There's some strong buyers at 2000. It's already up 20% in the last 20 minutes. So if it can close above 28.50, then I think it's very clear you have a very strong base in place at 2000. Like large institutional players are coming in and buying fair amounts of Ethereum. So it's still got a little bit more work for it, but there clearly is a strong bid at 2000. Okay, we've covered ETC. I bought the bounce and sold it already. Nicely done. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty strong bounce. Constantine is saying, translate if you learn this, you understand more and more. Miss Actor, thank you for the translation. I appreciate it. And Bag74 says, thank you. I'll watch the subtitles later. Appreciate it. All right. So we've covered Ethereum. Let's take a look at Oxy, even something strong, oil. Energy has been strong. And we are seeing that even oil is under pressure. So I think if this is able to hold, like, let's see, is VIX selling off on the open? If oil is able to hold these levels, I think this is a pretty good location on Oxy. I'm already long at 25. I wouldn't mind adding a little bit more between 23 and 22 and a half, but I like being long oil and energy right now. I think there's going to be some strength in that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. But a stalwarts like energy, even they're under pressure. Roblox, a lot of volatility. If you're a day trader, Roblox has got tons of volatility. I don't feel like adding any more Roblox. I feel like there's probably going to be some good dip buyers around 69.34. But beyond that, I wouldn't touch or add any Roblox till 63 or 62. So I feel like Roblox is a little too volatile right now. And then another stalwart, HD, something that was at 345 last week is now at 310. I do think one of the advantages of this sell-off is that a lot of these high flyers are going to start to present really good opportunities. Would I add to my HD position between 292 and 300? Yes. I will add long exposure to my HD position between 300 and 293. I also think this might present an opportunity in lows. If you're a long-term player, you're going to hold for months, maybe towards the end of the year, I think there's going to be some really good buying opportunities. Lows is another one I think that's getting close to my buy level. Between 182 and 181, 180, I'm a buyer on lows. I will definitely get long exposure on lows. So things that were already strong are finally pulling back to good value levels. I think that will present some good long-term opportunities. But if you're going to get long exposure, I would be looking at it like get long exposure stocks that were already strong going into sell-off, some of the strongest, and are now finally pulling back to really good levels. If something has been weak over the last few weeks, like really weak over the last month or two, I would not be looking for long exposure in those. So super, super important. Okay. Let's look at Benzinga. Optimistic trader. We already covered Ethereum. We covered it. We covered it. Did you miss it? We covered Ethereum. Oh, you're saying ETC. Okay. So the way callouts work is instrument, symbol, time frame, 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. So if you have a call out, symbol, time frame, 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. That's how this works. Okay. Let me go over Benzinga movers for the day. Not many as we suspected. Target's a mover on the day. Better than expected Q1 sales. Okay, it was a mover, now it's down. We'll keep an eye on Target. Let's see if is Target back to our pullback level. It is not. Okay, let's take a look at options open interest on Target and see what's rolling there. Yeah, Target's not back at our pullback level. I think the earliest I'd want to get long Target is maybe 203. I'm really preferring 200. But it did have good earnings, so it might be able to tread water or have a bid kind of underpinning it. But I still feel like wait for a pullback on Target. I really like Target to be long this going into, end of Q2, Q3, Q4. I think this is a really good play. Any other movers that I really want to take a look at? Yeah, a lot of the ultra short indices are up. Okay, so let's take a look at losers real quick. And then we'll do a look at some open calls. Let's see if there's anything we want to. So Bitcoin being under pressure, potentially Riot, potentially Mora. Those might be some shorting opportunities. Let me take a look at Riot and see. Can you short Riot? Is Riot shortable? Hard to borrow on Riot. Okay, so hard to borrow with Thinkorswim. For those of you who don't know this, it basically means that you need $125,000 account, not a gangster account, $125,000. Then you can call up and short hard to borrow stocks. If you don't have $125K, then you can't short hard to borrow stocks. Same with Mara, hard to borrow. Okay, so we cannot short those via stock. For most of you can't. We can short them via options. That is a potential play for everybody. So let's take a look at AMC. Nah, I don't want to. Riot, Mara. Any other major? Looking for something with some bad news. Q1 earnings are released before market open. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, it's an old one. Were released before market open. Okay, let's take a look. YSG. And earnings estimate. Okay, clearly they weren't that good. Can you short YSG? Yachts and holding. You cannot. Most retail traders cannot. Hard to borrow. Okay, so that means short options if you're going to play this one. But I'm not getting the earnings information right now, so I'll have to come back to that. All right, let's do some open callouts. So optimistic trader, time frame, 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Smash it, smack it, spank it, whatever you want to do to it. Hit that like button. Fed minutes today. Yep. I mean, I don't think it's going to matter. I think normally Fed minutes, you'd be like, cautiousness. No, there's a lot of volatility already in the markets. VIX is still around 25. Okay, we'll do 7 minutes open callouts. We'll go to 6:45. So again, open callouts, instrument, time frame, 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. Optimistic trader, just need a time frame from you, and I just need a 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. That's it. Then I'll do my analysis. Other than that, let me take a look at my. Okay, let's see what's up with VIX. 25.42. VIX is up. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Well, nobody has any callouts, no trade ideas? Really? Really? I'll cut it short. I have no problem cutting it short, going to live trading. Okay, finally. Somebody is stepping up to the plate. X. Okay, let's take a look at option open interest on X. 24.49. Okay, so you want to buy at 24.49, stop loss 22.75. So it's like a short-term, medium-term swing trade. Take profit 28.85, 1 hour, let's see a week. Okay, so let's take a look at your 24.49. So right about current prices. Okay. Let's go 1 hour. I think your location's decent. I think anywhere between 23.75 and that price is fine. I like being long X right now. Probably once this is over, I'll get long X. I'll probably do an option play in it, buy a bull call spread. Maybe June or July expiry. I'm not thinking like short-term, near-term. I'm thinking like at least a month out. And your take profit, stop loss is 22.75. So let me jump on the 4 hour for that. Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't know if you need that much. I think you can do sub 23. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think 22.75 is fine. If I were you, I would prefer long option versus long stock. I think that would be a better play than being long the underlying. In terms of your target, 28.85. Yeah, right around there. Maybe a few cents shy because it's $29 round number. I would prefer long options. Wait till we get to like maybe, if this bearish pressure continues for today, wait till maybe like 23.82, and then you can do like a bull call spread long 24.26. So for those of you who don't know what a bull call spread is, you would be, if we're going to buy the 24s, if we're going to be long a bull call spread on a dip to 23, roughly right around here, then we would long the 24s and we would short the 26. Buy the 24s, sell the 26. It would reduce our cost to get into it. If the market closes at 26 or higher by the time of expiry, we would collect full profit on this one here. So that would be my preferred play on this one here. Yanni, I prefer not being long the underlying. I prefer being long option. If I was going to be long underlying, I would probably want to wait till 23.84. That would be my more preferred price. Okay, so hopefully I answered your question. Next one, US 30. So Beishan wants to look at a CFD. So let's look at it from who will give us. I guess we can do Global Prime, but let's go Wanda. Bearish clean trend. 15 minutes. We'll take a look at the 5. Short at 33.72. Okay, let's take a look. 3372. 33720. It's a decent location. Market is trying to catch a little bid right now. What's going on SPY? SPY is trying to bounce. So it could be trying to bounce from VIX expiring right now. We'll see how VIX expires. I would prefer to be a short at a little bit higher. $33.8, like 33.818 isn't bad. Maybe a pullback to VWAP on this one here. I wouldn't want to be trading breakouts. I'd want to trade pullbacks on this one here. So maybe a pullback to VWAP on this one here, which is 33.866. Yeah. If this in the next 5 minutes rips and closes above this, I wouldn't want to be short at 33.720 at that point, because that would signify a false break. Could be because VIX is expiring right now, so I think the market's trying to digest that. But a little bit deeper pullback would be my preferred play on this one here. Let me check on 34. Weekly VWAPs are on 34. It's not a bad location. I would be willing to be short all the way up to the monthly VWAP, which is like 34.1, 35, 34.2, 7. I would be willing to be short all the way up to that. You get back above that, then you kind of have to flip. But yeah. So wait a little bit more on pullbacks on that one there. Okay, I got a few more minutes. Alex, good to see you. Alex Siminu, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Kiwi dollar, daily bullish pullback to 71. It's not bad. I really like the 70.16, 7,000, even maybe to like 69.4. I think anywhere between, here, because you got this resistance here. I think anywhere between here and like here is a decent pullback level. And then we take some off the board, getting back up here, and then see if it can continue to build pressure and start to attack this. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking on that one. All right, we'll do one more. Do one more call out. Who's going to get the last call out? Dun, dun, dun. The plot thickens. Yeah, S&P is not rallying as gangsters I'd like it to. Wow, they keep moving these buttons all over the place. S&P is not rallying. I think it's going to be under pressure. DNT USD, Oswaldo. Which one? Can I look at the BitREX or Binance? Any one of these? Any one of these work? By the way, I went to see my back specialist yesterday. Literally, 80% of our conversation is how my back specialist is trading crypto. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. I did not expect to go to my back specialist yesterday and spend 80% of my conversation with him talking about crypto. But he's trading crypto. It's hilarious. He's like actively trading crypto. In fact, he had an extra computer in his office, and he's using that extra computer to mine crypto. Hilarious. Hilarious. Coinbase, copy that. Okay. So is it okay if I use DNT USDC? Is that okay? Oswaldo, I'll tell you more when we get into the live trade members room. So can I use DNT USDC via Coinbase feed? You should see the coffee shops. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. It's the same thing that happened before. Same thing that happened before in 2017 when Bitcoin was ramping up to 20K. The coffee shops are loaded with crypto traders. And then as soon as Bitcoin took a nosedive in 2018, those coffee shops are empty of crypto traders. You could see the same thing right now. Okay, so you are looking at DNT 5 minutes bullish. Let me start with the weekly real quick. I probably wouldn't touch this until 12.9, 7.13. I would have a tight stop below that, and then my next buy location would be 8.5 cents. Yeah, it'd be 8.5 cents. I would want to start taking profit into 22.4. As soon as you start getting into 25, 26 and a half, resistance is going to start getting thick. But we could be seeing a major unwind in crypto right now. I mean, it really is going to depend on how well Ethereum and Bitcoin are able to hold the line. Are there going to be enough value dip buyers going into these to where they will provide a bid and a floor in the market? If we see them pull back again, as we're starting to see a little bit in Ethereum, yeah, I mean, if Ethereum comes back to these and gets a 5-minute, 1-hour close below 1900, you can again see more unwinding in crypto. So, yeah. But looking at your thing, DNT, did I already close it? I did. Yeah. Yeah, I'd want to wait for a pullback. I'd want to wait for a pullback 12 cents before I get long again. Then you could have a really tight stop on that one there. Really tight stop on that one. We know that it's already been able to bounce from 12 cents up to 17. So I'd probably want to wait for a pullback towards 12 cents again. Very tight stop below that. Look for a bounce back up to 17. 5 cent target, 1 cent stop. That would be how I play it, in my opinion. Okay. I am going to wrap it up, go to live trading with our members right now. Plus, I need to check in with my portfolio, my trades, see how the overnight positions. We're definitely a little bit lighter. We only have maybe 29 open positions right now. We have more than 29 open positions. We have 29 instruments that we're trading right now that we're rolling overnight each and every night. So I need to check on them right now. But I'm going to get to live trading with the members. If you liked today's session, and you should have, I hope you did, hit that like button. If you haven't already, smash it, spank it, whack it, whatever you want to do to it, hit it. I will be not here this Friday, but we do have another video coming out this Friday. This will be on covered calls. So we're continuing with our options focus. And then next week, I'll probably be doing a Friday session and a Wednesday session. Haven't decided yet, but either next week or the week after, we'll be doing one. So with that being said, good luck trading today. Be smart, be safe, cautious on leverage, cautious on position sizing, cautious on risk on. Try and be, thin the weak players out of your trades right now. And definitely do not be loading up. This is not the time to be loading up size. This is the time to be reducing risk. So with that being said, good luck trading. Be smart, be safe, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.